The holy great martyr Barbara lived and suffered during the early 4th century in Heliopolis, Phoenicia, present-day Baalbek, Lebanon. Saint Barbara had extraordinary beauty, which saw her father Dioscoros hide her from the eyes of strangers. Therefore, he built a tower for Barbara, where only her pagan teachers were allowed to see her. Barbara spent her days and nights admiring nature and the beauty of the world. Soon, the Virgin began to ask herself questions about the first cause and creator of so harmonious and splendid a world. Gradually, she became convinced that the soulless idols were merely the work of human hands. The desire to know the true God so consumed her soul that Barbara decided to devote all her life to this goal and to spend her life in virginity. The fame of her beauty spread throughout the city, and many sought her hand in marriage. But despite the entreaties of her father, she refused them all. Barbara warned her father that this persistence might end tragically and separate them forever. Dioscoros permitted her to leave the tower. Thus, Barbara met young Christian maidens in the city, and they taught her about the Creator of the world, about the Trinity, and about the divine Logos. Through the providence of God, a priest arrived in Heliopolis from Alexandria disguised as a merchant. After instructing her in the mysteries of the Christian faith, he baptized Barbara. During this time, a luxurious bathhouse was being built at the house of Dioscoros. By his orders, the workers prepared to put 2 windows on the south side. But Barbara, taking advantage of her father's absence, asked them to make a 3rd window, thereby forming a trinity of light. On one of the walls of the bathhouse, Barbara traced a cross with her finger. The cross was deeply etched into the marble. Later, her footprints were imprinted on the stone steps of the bathhouse. The water of the bathhouse had a great healing power. Saint Simeon Metaphrastus compared the bathhouse to the stream of Jordan and the pool of Siloam, because by God's power, many miracles took place there. When Dioscoros returned and expressed dissatisfaction about the change in his building plans, his daughter told him about how she had come to know the true God, about the saving power of the Son of God, and about the futility of worshipping idols. Dioscoros went into a rage, grabbed a sword, and was on the point of striking her with it. The Holy Virgin fled from her father, and he rushed after her in pursuit. His way became blocked by a hill, which opened and concealed the saint in a crevice. On the other side of the crevice was an entrance leading upwards. Saint Barbara managed then to conceal herself in a cave on the opposite slope of the hill. After a long and fruitless search for his daughter, Dioscoros saw 2 shepherds on the hill. One of them showed him the cave where the saint had hidden. Dioscoros beat his daughter terribly, and then placed her under guard and tried to wear her down with hunger. Finally, he handed her over to the prefect of the city, named Martianus. They beat Saint Barbara fiercely. They struck her with a rawhide and rubbed her wounds with a haircloth to increase her pain. By night, Saint Barbara prayed fervently to her heavenly bridegroom, and the Saviour himself appeared and healed her wounds. Then they subjected the saint to new and even more frightful torments. In the crowd, where the martyr was tortured, was the virtuous Christian woman named Juliana, an inhabitant of Heliopolis. Her heart was filled with sympathy for the voluntary martyrdom of the beautiful and illustrious maiden. Juliana also wanted to suffer for Christ. She began to denounce the torturers in a loud voice, and they seized her. Both martyrs were tortured for a long time. Their bodies were raked and wounded with hooks, and then they were led naked through the city amidst derision and jeers. Through the prayers of Saint Barbara, the Lord sent an angel who covered the nakedness of the holy martyrs with a splendid robe. Then the steadfast confessors of Christ, Saints Barbara and Juliana, were beheaded. Dioscoros himself executed Saint Barbara. The wrath of God was not slow to punish both torturers, Martianus, and Dioscoros. They were killed after being struck by lightning.
Let us honor Saint Barbara, for she hath broken the snares of the